With so many things going on in the world, in your life, in your career, there's no wonder people are starting to feel overwhelmed. Maybe people have been feeling overwhelmed. Let's think about it. You have so many things that you are responsible for on a daily basis. I know you just want to get some of those off your plate, but sometimes this feeling of overwhelm becomes so stressful and you just don't even know where to begin. So, hey, take a deep breath. Press play on this episode, and we're going to talk about strategies to help you reduce this feeling and propel forward in this episode.
Welcome to the Licensed to Live show, where professionals, doctors, champions, VIPs, attorneys, and those in public office discover strategies that help you restart and gain what is lost when you find yourself accused. If another has doubted your integrity, questioned your credentials, or caused your actions to come under scrutiny, you are in the right place. On the other hand, if you have never felt the knot in the pit of your stomach when legal papers are served, the heartbreak of disappointing your family when the lock clicks shut on handcuffs, or had to appear before a board of review, then be aware, the longer you serve, the more likely you are to find yourself under the microscope of those who judge. Prepare yourself for this uncomfortable possibility. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jarrett Patton.
Welcome to episode 126 of License to Live. My name is Dr. Jarrett Patton, and I am your host for our journey together today and every day you choose to listen to this show. If you or anyone you know has been dissed in their career, please invite them to join us along this journey. Simply go to Apple Podcasts or anywhere you get your podcast and hit subscribe. That way, you are staying most up to date with information about career and life changes. So today, we're going to be talking about an article that I helped write for Forbes magazine, and it was just including lots of tips on things you can do when you become stressed or overwhelmed at work or with life in general. And I'll talk about a few of my favorite tips from this article right after we get back from thanking our sponsors. Hey, this is Dr. Jarrett Patton. Do you need more positivity in your life? No matter what part of your life you want to transform, positive affirmations can help you achieve your goals. But sometimes making permanent changes can be difficult. Designed with you in mind, License to Live. Daily affirmations to rebuild your life will inspire and equip you to become the best version of yourself. License to Live. Daily affirmations to rebuild your life will set you on the path to changing your mindset, beliefs, speech, and ultimately your actions. You can change your life now by getting your copy at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your finer book retails, or licensedtolive.com. That's licensedtolive.com.
Something smells good. EH3 coffee. EH3 coffee. Premium organic. Nothing better than waking up. EH3 in your cup. Premium organic. EH3 coffee. Nothing better than in the middle of your day. EH3 coffee. Premium organic. EH3 coffee.
This is Super Bowl champion Mike Logan, and you are listening to License to Live.
The other day, I had to charge up with some EH3 right before I left the house because, well, I was headed out to have a little fun with some friends and decided to go to a concert. Nice outdoor venue. The weather was beautiful. It was about 85 degrees in the city as the sun was starting to set. And do you remember? Earth, Wind, and Fire came on the stage and started killing it. And I was enjoying this. And then I started thinking about it. Well, okay, you have a group, a legendary group like this that has been going on and on and on with performances and recordings. And quite frankly, there were only 3 of the original members still on stage now. Many of them have died at this point. But, they still keep going strong despite all the things going around. I'm sure they had COVID issues in trying to get this concert off in a reasonable time, but they continue to get things going. And at the end of the day, the show must go on. And so I had a great time. If you guys tune into my Snapchat or maybe my Instagram stories, you probably saw it. And if you don't check me out in those places, make sure you do at Dr. Jarrett. Spell out the word Dr. J-A 2 R's E 1 T, because I usually just put up fun things that I may be doing outside of recording podcast episodes. And for many of you people, you've seen some of the places I'm going, some of the things that I'm doing, and I just like to have fun with it. So check out my Snapchat, check out my Instagram stories, and I'm always talking about stuff on LinkedIn in between, and we just go from there. But this article, it published sometime mid-August or so, and we were able to just talk about tips and ways in which you can remain grounded in periods of excessive stress. Because let's face it, economy worries, world unrest, we've been talking about it time and time again, and let alone whatever it could be happening in your life or with your job, it can just make everything seem like it's so far out of reach because there could be so many things to do. And then you may start spiraling on that downward feeling of, oh, woe is me. I may not be able to get this done. Or maybe I might fail, so I won't even try to do this. Or something even worse that, I'm just going to give up and not even care anymore. And sometimes people start to slip down these pathways. And I wanted to just bring a few of my favorite techniques from this Forbes article. I put the Forbes article in the show notes. So if you want to read the entire article, it's right there. But you guys know I've been active in the Forbes Coaches Council recently. And this is just yet another article that I've contributed for them because these are something that, I believe in. And of course, the first thing I talked about is the use of affirmations. Now, I'm not going to belabor this point very long because, we have License to Live, daily affirmations to rebuild your life. In fact, you can get the License to Live book bundle online now for a special price of $29. That gives you both License to Live books, autographed by me and mailed to your specifications so you can get your life back in order. But affirmations are something that I have developed and used as a tip over the years because these positive statements inject positivity when I need them. And I know a lot of times people say, oh, these are just made up statements that you say to yourself, and then maybe you say it enough times that you believe. No, there is a science about it. And if you don't want to buy my book, in the show notes, there is a free 30-day trial of some additional affirmations that I wrote just for you in order to give yourself a try to see if affirmations can really work in your life. And in that guide, I have the way how to use affirmations, why affirmations can be important, and all of these things related to affirmations. So you guys know that is a strategy that I've had, and that's why I wrote these books about affirmations. But I didn't want to spend all of that time because, as I was listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire, they had a lot of positivity emitting from their music. And so you can change your mind state and your mind frame with a lot of things. If you don't like to use affirmations, use the power of music. Get some inspirational music that might push you out there, get you singing and dancing. Do you remember? The 21st day of September or something like that. I don't know. But voice is a little sore. So you won't be hearing me try to relive Earth, Wind, and Fire's greatest hits. But trust me, when affirmations can change your life, give it a try and it won't even cost you anything. Go to the show notes, check it out. Now, one of my other favorite tips of just getting yourself in the zone and grounding yourself when you're starting to get worked up, you're starting to feel like everything is closing in on you because there's so many things to do and so little time to do it. It is practice gratitude. Gratitude is just something that you can do every single day. Personally, part of my morning routine, I get up, I say thanks with a little bit of prayer. I remain centered and grounded, thinking about all the things I am grateful for in this, because there's simple things in life that we can't take for granted. We can't even take for granted life. Just the fact that you are up, you have the strength, the health, the ability to listen to my message or to read my message in the transcript. This is an absolute blessing. And there's so many things we take for granted. So taking time to feel gratitude and express gratitude in your everyday life is a way to just stop and say, you know what? As many things that I think are turned sideways or going downhill in my life, there are many things that are going well. So you can be thankful for your health. You can be thankful that you have a roof over your head. Even if you don't like the job you're in right now, be thankful for that, because times are hard out here. You can find thankfulness and gratitude in every single thing that you do every single day. And guess what happens when you are thankful? You realize there are a lot of good things happening. And although everything may not be happening the way you want it to, things are still happening. And really, if you expand that thought and you think about what this means in your life as you continue to put your feet on the ground every day, you may go to your work. You may kiss a loved one. You may have a laugh with your friend. These are all moments that we shouldn't take for granted, because part of what we talk about with this whole License to Live brand is about living, folks. You know this. And if you are living, you can be thankful and you can see that there's so many things going great in your life. The small things don't even matter. And if simply not having gratitude is enough, I love to challenge people to this exercise. This is an exercise that I really like. This is one that really grounds you. And you don't have to have too much, because even if you live in a very bright city, if you live in a rural area, it's even better. But this works anywhere. Okay, so here's what you do. Take a clear night, walk outside, and look up at the stars. Now, if you're in a remote island in the Caribbean, this is great. If you're in the desert Southwest, this is absolutely spectacular, because you're going to see things that you've never seen before. But even if you were on your block and you can only see a couple of stars in the sky, look up to those stars. Look up to the moon if it's present. Look up to some of those planets you may commonly see, like Venus, maybe even Jupiter. You don't need any special credit, but just look up in the sky. And while you are looking at those bodies in the sky, especially those stars, start to take a few deep breaths in through your nose and prolonged exhale out through your mouth. And repeat that about 3 times as you're looking up at the sky. And pick out any object, whether it's the moon, a planet, a random star. You look at that star and you say, wow, I am a mere individual on this earth. And that star is so many light years away, I can't even comprehend what that means. Not to mention, I don't know what may be in orbit around that star, or if there's life surrounding that star. And what about that star over there and that one over there, out there over there? And you look at all of these stars and they represent an object much bigger than the star we're around, which is the sun. It represents a large star in some remote area of space. And when you look at that vast perspective about how many things are out there in the universe, you can see that the world that we live in is full of abundance and the universe is unlimited. And when you put that perspective on everything, the challenges you may be facing right in your face right now can seem incredibly small because, well, most likely they are. But when they're in the front of our face, they seem too big to ignore. They seem too big to overcome. But when you put your life in perspective of the universe, this is something very small and it can shift your mind into a mindset of abundance. For instance, I like affirmation number 43 in my book. I rejoice for others who are prosperous and share the abundance. Because so many times as an entrepreneur, so many times as a small business owner, so many times as a doctor working in hospitals, you realize and you start thinking that this domain under your responsibility is yours, and that's all there is in this world. And that small amount must be something that you must get all the time and right now because there's not enough to go around, when the opposite is true. When you look in terms of the universe, you see the universe is abundant. The universe is vast. This earth that we live on is full of abundance. And when you see good things happening for other people, don't sulk and say, boy, I wish that would happen for me. Boy, I deserve something like that. Look at it and celebrate it. Celebrate it that that person is getting something, because you are sure to get the things that you deserve in this life, because there's enough for all of us out here. A lot of times people get in turf wars. They get in domain differences and disputes. I mean, look what's happening over in Ukraine and Russia. People just want to start taking land. Same thing happening in China and Taiwan. And realizing that there's so much abundance, you don't have to continue to take. You don't have to continue to dominate, because there's enough for everyone here. And you just have to open your eyes to see that. And that is what I love about gratitude. That's what I love about affirmations. And those are two of my favorite tips. And I have one more that I'm going to get to right after this word from our sponsor.
The time is now to refresh your career. We help doctors, lawyers, executives, and VIPs refresh and restart. Dr. Jarrett's coaching helps you build confidence, gain more credibility, develop more leadership skills, and gain clarity in your career path. Want to climb the executive ladder or branch out on your own? We'll put your career in overdrive. Visit drjarrett.com and sign up for your free strategy session.
I bet some of you are already writing in, please stop singing. Please do not sing Earth, Wind, Fire anymore. You just wait till I get to my Beyonce and Khalees episode. You just wait till I have to start singing Beyonce. We're going to all be in trouble. So maybe turn the volume down there, but promise no more singing this episode. But hey, I'm happy to do whatever I can to entertain you and inspire. And this is my third tip. It's about inspiration. Find something in your life. Find anything in your life in which you can draw some inspiration. It can be one of your favorite books. It can be a short story. It can be a YouTube video or something on Netflix. You can even watch the replay of License to Live, the conference 2022, because that conference was made for inspirational stories. There are over a dozen speakers that had highly inspiring stories that you could see, as much as the storm may have come into their life, how did they reemerge and what did they do after that? And that in and of itself can be inspirational. So if you want to watch the replay, it's available. Links are in the show notes. Go to licensetolive.com. and get that replay. Not only that, you can get over 8 credits of CME and these continuing education credits. You may be coming at the end of one of your accreditation years, and you must get some more credits. Easy way to do it, and you will get inspired. But nonetheless, find anything that you can do that will bring you inspiration. And this takes us back to the power of music. And as I'm looking around at all of these people who are listening to this concert in unison with me, some people are singing, some people are dancing, some people are just looking up at the starry sky, enjoying the music, and letting these performers just sing their hearts out and perform their hearts out. You can see the inspiration that was occurring when those lyrics would hit them, when the music would hit them. And people were having a wonderful time at this event. And I did too as well. I had a great time. I didn't even want to leave because I was just singing along. I was just dancing, and I was having inspiration when I was really breaking down some of these lyrics to say, hey, there are people that were getting inspired to write these songs to inspire others. And whether you do this from experiences and stories within your own life, you gravitate to other people's experiences. Like one of my favorite experiences has to do with a guy that I met on one of my speaker trails who happened to be serving ice cream in a bar. And he told me that he had applied to medical school 20 different times. And I said, oh, wow, yeah, I'm a pediatrician. I've worked in pediatrics for over 20 years, and I do this, that, and the other. I said, that's great. He said, what happened with your medical school? He said, I got 20 rejection letters. And I said, oh, man, that must have been really bummed out that, this was something that you dreamed about, you wanted to do, and couldn't do because people said you couldn't go to medical school. I said, well, what did you do after this? And he said, well, how are you enjoying this ice cream? I said, oh, I love this ice cream. I love salted caramel core. He said, well, let me introduce myself. My name is Jerry Greenfield. I am the Jerry in Ben & Jerry's ice cream. So we had a laugh. You can see things worked out for him. But when he talks about things that inspired his life, it really was that negative moment. He knew he wasn't going to become a doctor. He knew he wasn't going to medical school. And he and his friend came up with this idea of having an ice cream truck. So he went off to learn about ice cream making on a correspondence course at Penn State University. And the rest is history. They made a few t-shirts. They started making ice cream flavors. And then it turned into this gigantic brand. And it all came out of disappointing rejection letters. So find inspiration in anything you can do, because there is inspiration in everything you do, even if it doesn't work out to your advantage. Remember, fire starters, if you or anyone you know has been dissed, please invite them to join us along this journey. Simply go to your favorite podcast player and hit subscribe. And if you have any comments, if you have anything you want to hear about more on the show, including just general stories about stuff that I've been doing, hit me up. Hit me up on all social media at Dr. Jarrett. Spell out the word doctor, J-A, 2 R's, E, 1 T. And I will see you next time.
No matter how disheartening the moment of accusation sounds, how deep the pain of immobilization stabs, or how bleak your future looks, no one can take away your license to live. Keep Dr. Jarrett's expertise handy and unlock your future. Go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or another podcast player and subscribe right now to Licensed to Live. See you next time.